He literally takes over the challenges of the vulnerable in the society and makes it personal. His cares for their health, their well-being, their state of mind is amazing. And he has done this for the past 31 years. That's the amazing story of Sir David and Dame Mary Joan Osunde, who for over 3 decades have been in the vanguard of concerned persons championing the cause of persons with disabilities in Nigeria under the canopy of Sir David Osunde Foundation. Although the foundation has over the years been dedicated to caring for the poor, the orphan and the elderly, its primary focus has been on creating a leveling platform for persons with disabilities. What many participants of her annual program happily testify to is that Sir David Osunde Foundation came into being more than 31 years ago with a singular purpose of providing opportunities to persons with disabilities that will help them to strive towards higher goals in different aspects of human life. And what is even more interesting is that a number of people we spoke to during this year's program confirmed that the mission of the foundation has not changed since its inception. Dr. Anthony Osasumwen Osunde is the administrator and principal representative of the founder, Sir David E. Osunde. Looking back at what the foundation has been doing, Dr. Anthony Osunde comments thus.
We're celebrating the 31st anniversary this year. I think last year we celebrated the big 30. I think you were also present. So we bless God that we've been able to come back here once again. And also very special to have the Archbishop of Abuja with us for the first time, Archbishop Kaigama.
Dr. Osunde, who was himself overwhelmed with joy while attending to those in greatest needs, remarked that what has been most comforting to persons with disabilities is that the programs of the foundation have been quite beneficial to them, hence the continued interest in the annual events. He recalls some of the educative, result-oriented programs that are designed to improve the skills of the participants.
There was an educational forum that was here, and we had experts teaching them how to make different things, excipients like washing liquid, how to be fully empowered, how to design their business logos, how not to have any conflict with regards to branding, really empowering them to create their own products, whether it's cleaning, reagents, soap, and just really inspiring them that they should move beyond begging and to really dispel the spirit of begging, but to really do the best that they can.
Like Dr. Osunde, the local organizing committee chairman of this year's event, Mr. Ike Uchebulam Esquire, takes a look at the foundation in the past 8 or more years since he himself became part of the planning committee.
The vision is to unite people of diverse religion, tribes, and sects, and then to unite them in love by showing them the love of God. And coming during this season of love is a way to affect lives, provide succor for persons with disabilities, and show them how to love one another, irrespective of their religion and tribe.
He talks about what makes the 31st anniversary quite unique and interesting.
The impact over time has been that persons have been encouraged and succor has been provided to people. And then, people have started seeing life over the years from a different dimension, a dimension of love, somebody giving without necessarily expecting anything from you. And over time, the scholarship award and other forms of educational support has helped persons with disabilities that are in school to excel. It has filled gaps that disability has created.
In this year's event, the chairman and representative of the founder of Sir David Osunde Foundation, Ambassador Martin Uhomoibe, OFRKSG, tells the audience that God had a specific mission for the foundation. As a patriot like Sir David Osunde himself, Ambassador Uhomoibe requests for prayers for the foundation and the country.
Sir David Osunde Foundation will continue to grow from strength to strength. This is our prayer, and may all those who are going to benefit from this also unite in prayers, not just for the foundation, but also for our great country, Nigeria, that is going through some challenging times at this time.
Joining the chairman in prayer for the foundation was the mother of the day, Georgina Ogbuto. She urged the people not to give up.
Jesus told the women to go tell the apostles to go to Galilee and meet him. As I was coming here, I said, Jesus, please, I'm going to Galilee to meet you. And as soon as I stepped in here, I said, God, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, because I'm in Galilee and I have seen you in the faces of my brothers and sisters here. To God be all the glory.
The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Her Excellency Dame Pauline Tallon, KSG, OFR, who turns out yearly to honor the invitation of persons with disabilities, was also at the event to play a key role as distinguished guest of honor. She gave reasons why she never failed to attend events like this every year.
We can't thank God enough to the Osunde's Foundation and all our benefactors. Those who support us in this foundation, may the good Lord continue to bless them. Sir David Osunde and Mary Joan Osunde are simply amazing family. God has laid it in their hearts to put smiles and hope to the disadvantaged and those with disabilities in our communities. And as you heard the homily, the bishop is calling on everyone to do the best we can to put smiles on the faces of those in need and to make the world a happier and a better place. We all must key into the life of Jesus. What is happening here is the Galilee that Jesus is telling us. So we must do all we can to share what God has given us to the disadvantaged and those with disabilities.
Many of the attendees, including Her Excellency, were happy that the program of Sir David Osunde Foundation have brought more light to persons with disabilities, helping them to realize the importance of education while encouraging them to be more focused in pursuing their educational careers and skills acquisition. It is a thing of great joy to note that those among them who welcomed and accepted the Foundation's program in the last 3 decades have excelled in their different academic pursuits and have had fruitful and fulfilled lives. What seems to be inspiring news today for many people is that Sir David Osunde Foundation has beautiful stories to relay to the world about the achievements of persons with disabilities who have been beneficiaries of its program from year to year. Dr. Anthony Osunde speaks of some of the beneficiaries of the foundation who have excelled in life and have themselves become benefactors of the foundation.
Behind you, you can see all the gifts. The gifts is coming from the foundation, but it's also coming from other well-wishers, other benefactors of the past who've also developed themselves, and they come back and they give. And so it's a big celebration. How are these gifts given out? They're given out because they have coordinators from every state.
An example of this is the director of Beautiful Gate Handicapped People Center in Jos, Chief Ayuba Burki Gufwan. Chief Gufwan was one of the early beneficiaries of the foundation about 28 years ago, but he has now become one of the foundation's benefactors. At the 30th anniversary of the foundation, he made a donation of about 80 tricycles to the foundation, and this year again, he donated 30 tricycles, 20 crutches and 20 walking frames that were distributed to persons with disabilities. This feat points to the fact that others, including former beneficiaries of the foundation, can also play commendable roles to alleviate the sufferings of persons with disabilities.
we've been scaling down. This used to be a 2-day event, and when all the members would come, we would have accommodation for 2 days, and there were really a lot of numbers. So the coordinators will also ensure that the gifts get to all the various members. So it's running into the thousands, but the important thing is it's spread across the 36 states of Nigeria.
This is a proof that providing assistance to persons with disabilities in the country, like Sir David Osunde Foundation has done in many ways in the last 3 decades, certainly makes a difference in their lives as it helps to bring substantial progress to them. Mr. Ike Uchebolam, Esquire, asked other Nigerians to be inspired to join hands with the foundation to help uplift the lives of persons with disabilities to a point where they can be more useful to themselves.
Ordinarily, it should inspire others, but over time in Nigeria, I realize that disability is an area that most people do not really, want to go into. I don't know why. There are very few Nigerians that are actually interested in the subject of disability.
It is a happy story today that a good number of them use their God-given talents, wisdom and strength to produce things that can help showcase the stuff with which they are individually made of. While caring for the physical needs of persons with disabilities, the foundation says it's also conscious about the spiritual needs of the beneficiaries. As a result, the foundation says it appreciates the great spiritual and moral assistance it receives from the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. From year to year, a number of Catholic bishops and tens of priests celebrate solemn Thanksgiving Mass on behalf of persons with disabilities and on behalf of the foundation, after which they inspire them to move on with life. His Grace, Most Reverend Dr. Ignatius Kaigama, Archbishop of Abuja, who was the host and chief celebrant at the Thanksgiving Mass at this year's event, had a word of commendation for Sir David Osunde.
Sir David Osunde, the president and founder of the Sir David Osunde Foundation, has consistently provided an enabling environment for thousands of persons with disabilities from all nooks and crannies of our country, no matter their religion, no matter their tribe or social status in life, to converge on a ground such as this today. And as you take a look around, I tell you, you can see people from everywhere. You can see people from everywhere. And that is the beauty about this Easter I am talking about. That people are brought in because they are simply the children of God. Not because they speak this language, not because they worship in this way, not because they belong to this social status, but because they are children of God. And they are made in the image and likeness of God. So, it is a reason to celebrate. Let's celebrate so loud that people will hear us. That this is what we need to be doing. Instead of quarreling and fighting about religion, about tribe, about political differences, we should channel our energies positively and constructively to building a society that such people will be at home and feel good about themselves. This is a duty that needs to be done. And I think we sometimes waste so much time on things that don't matter. The Sir David Osunde Foundation is calling our attention to this. We are so concerned with very big projects that are of national value, international value, but when it comes to the people who matter, these people who just need basic things to survive, we are lacking. So he is calling our attention to this, that we must face this reality. We must face this reality. And I'm happy you are facing it so well. Every year, people gather here, they meet themselves, they interact well, and above all, they share love. And then the few goodies that are around are distributed equally to everybody without discrimination. That is the hallmark of the Sir David Osunde Foundation. No discrimination. Everybody is the child of God, and we are all made in the image and likeness of God. I am sure too that many people like Sir Osunde and his family do the same thing, except we don't notice. They do. But this one is structured in a way that we should notice. But there are individuals, I believe, throughout this period of Lent who have been doing their best, feeding the poor, supporting the needy, and doing so many good things that we haven't seen. And when I say so because I have the experience. I am aware of such initiatives as that of the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallinn. She is here. She is an ardent supporter of the poor and the marginalized. And I know this not because I was told. I know this because I know her. And I was her bishop in Jos. We worked together in the nooks and crannies of Jos, where the poor, the marginalized are found. There you will find her. And so there are people like that who give so much to the society.
At the reception, after the Thanksgiving Mass, Reverend Father George Ehusani took time to address the participants. He also offered prayers.
I wanted to share briefly for a moment the passage of 2 Corinthians chapter 12. St. Paul says, therefore, to keep me from being too elated. I'm reading from verse 7 to 10. Therefore, to keep me from being too elated, a thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from being too elated. 3 times I appealed to the Lord about this, that it will leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardship, persecution, and calamities for the sake of Christ. For whenever I am weak, then I am strong.
Like it was observed earlier, though Sir David Osunde Foundation cares about the spiritual needs of its beneficiaries, it does not discriminate against anyone because of sex, religion, or ethnicity. For instance, Comrade Musa Muazu Musa is a Muslim, yet he is the secretary of the local organizing committee. It needs to be recalled here that the founder of Sir David Osunde Foundation, Sir David Osunde, had an excellent period of tutelage with the Jesuits who were in St. Joseph's Catholic Parish in Benin City. Invited by Reverend Father Bill Scanlon, S.J., his parish priest at that time, Sir David joined the committee of parishioners he had set up to care for the special children brought from different places within Benin City to live with him in the parish. Within 14 years of being a member of the committee, Sir David Osunde gained a lot of experience in handling issues relating to mental health of persons with disabilities. The parish priest accommodated this group of special children in a small house behind the refectory. His idea was to house them until a new arrangement was made for their housing feeding, welfare, and medical needs. Working and holding meetings on issues that had to do with these special children contributed a great deal to Sir David Osunde's keen interest in looking after those in greatest need in the community, and which later translated to the birth of the foundation. Also, as the foundation marks its 31st year of promoting charitable projects, it's also good to remember Reverend S.R. Magella Macron, OLA, who first sold the idea of a foundation to care for the deprived and vulnerable members of the society to Sir David Osunde. It will be recalled that the formal inauguration of Sir David Osunde Foundation was held in 1993 at the Holy Cross Cathedral in Benin City after nearly 1 year of preparation. The inauguration ceremony began with Holy Mass presided over by Bishop Patrick Ebosele Ekbu, now Archbishop Emeritus, while Reverend Father Matthew Hassan Kuka, now a bishop, was the homilist on that occasion. In the same vein, His Eminence John Cardinal Onaiko, Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja, who has been a spiritual father of Sir David Osunde Foundation, has continued to guide the foundation with his fatherly advice. He is always at the yearly event, giving his usual moral and prayerful support, as well as his spiritual guidance. This is partly what motivates the foundation to move from strength to strength. Besides, he, like the foundation, is strongly against the hostility and discrimination which persons with disabilities sometimes face in their day-to-day interactions with members of the society. Mr. Ike Uchebunam Esquire says, with relevant laws in place at present, hostility and discrimination against persons with disabilities is now a crime.
You see, there is a law, Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018, that was passed into law by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari. That was a master stroke. That was the climax of the disability rights advocacy in Nigeria, and the President heard the cries of persons with disabilities and set up and assented to that bill, and then set up the Commission for Persons with Disabilities. So discrimination has been criminalized in Nigeria. So what we do is we ask people to obey, comply with the provisions of the law, so that they will not be found on the other side of the law.
What is even more unfortunate is the fact that people who discriminate against persons with disabilities do so mostly from the point of ignorance. Fighting this ignorance and empowering these vulnerable members of the society has worked for the foundation, as many people with disabilities who have identified with the foundation have conquered disabilities and have excelled in their areas of competence. Adeboye Kayode, a musician and a wheelchair user, is one who has broken boundaries with his music. He said he has conquered his limitations.
I know one day I'm going to be great. For me to get to the top, I have to work hard. I can see my future, how my future is bright. It may be difficult to be successful, but I keep on praying, how we keep on moving. Disability is not a...
Both Messrs. Uchibulam and Kayode have messages for persons with disabilities. In conclusion, Dr. Osunde remarked that there is more which the government at different levels can do for them.
The vision for this organization is for one day that there would be a dedicated ministry for persons with disability, a dedicated ministry on the federal level and also on the state level, so that these persons can have right access to buildings, access to education, and really have their voices heard, so that it's not just NGOs that are looking after them, but a dedicated ministry that they can feel represented, so that we can do the things that you've seen, a symposium dedicated to them, educational symposium dedicated to them, to empower them, to continually, they can catch up with the rest of the world. The technology is moving on everywhere around the world for persons with disabilities, but how can they be uplifted? How can they even know about it? So if there's a dedicated, functional ministry for them, they're carried along as the world is developing. For other people with disabilities in other parts of the world, they are also carried along.
As Sir David Osunde Foundation continues to celebrate the lives of persons with disabilities in the nation, it is hoped that citizens will learn from the foundation and appreciate these challenges faced by persons with disabilities in Nigeria and work towards improving their well-being so that the world will be better for all.
Well, I commend Sir David Osunde Foundation for this noble gesture. This is a gesture that should be known by everybody. We have many of such physically challenged people in Nigeria, but very little is known about them. They are always hidden in the background. But Sir David Osunde Foundation is boldly and proudly saying, we are happy to identify with this set of people.
You alone are holy, you alone are Lord, you alone are worthy to be honored and adored. Mercy you have given, kindness you have shown, love is you.